Hey everyone, it's Lizzie and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking real numbers with you guys. First of all, you are going to see what happened in the month of September. So if you guys are interested to see our actual true numbers, then keep on watching. So we had a few things planned out for September, and this is what the calendar view looks like. We're gonna flip to the monthly budget section, and we got a lot of things going on here. So let's dive into all of the details. Okay, so I have different highlighter things going on, and we're just gonna start off with the income portion. Here is our budgeted amount that we kind of lowballed it, right? And that's pretty much what you want to do when you create a monthly budget. But our actual total income that we received was $5,140.77. We included this other category, and this was actually a recommendation by you guys that I never really took into account prior to this month. So this is the first time I'm still getting adjusted to a few things using the highlighter method, and it's a lot for me. So I'm working out on it, but this income part is the money that we received from our sinking funds, things that we had put in that was other. It wasn't our income from the paycheck. It was money that we had taken from our savings to cover certain things. So that's what that is. So the total income that we actually received for the month of September was $5,140. And over here is that breakdown of our percentage formula. We break down our budget into 3 different categories: how much we spend, so our expenses, what is our goal amount, and what should we give, so our tithe. So we've calculated this is the goal that we want to achieve for this particular month. Being that our income here, the 2 paychecks that we receive during the months, was more, so the red highlight is we were over budget and the green is we were under. It essentially will reflect over in other categories as well. So for example, the tithe is a reflection of the increase in the income because we tithe 10% of what we make. And then all of these are just our actual bills. So the fixed expenses, those don't really change. Our water bill was underestimated, so that's good. SunPass, this is the toll. We spent less than budgeted for, so that was a good thing. And now we get into a red section here. So my husband has a gym membership, and monthly we budget out, it's $23.38. I think I've mentioned this in one of the paycheck budget videos, but there was an annual charge that we were not aware of, or it wasn't really explained to us clearly when he signed up for this gym membership. So one day I looked at the bank account and I noticed this gym charge of, I want to say it was like 50 something dollars. So I was a little bit upset, and then our car insurance was less than expected. This was a little bit less. So the total remaining after taking the income minus the giving and the expenses was $2,545, where we are left to break down the remainder of our budget. So we do utilize cash envelopes for the daily use. In the month of September, we kind of switched things up midway through. So this month, October, this is going to be a little bit different in my explanation. But these are the categories that we do have cash envelopes for, except for this gas. Gas, we do spend it online on our debit cards, but I did have to have a section for that to be written since all of this was filled. So that's why it's here. Over budget quite a bit, but let me just explain a few things. We did go on vacation, so I did categorize some of the spending that took place on our vacation for these particular categories, like the eating out. We did eat out on our vacation. It was our anniversary week, so we were celebrating. Spending, we did get some gifts for ourselves, but that also reflected in the income increase. So this other, we did put money in our bank account so that we can go and spend how we had to. Grocery was under. Eating out, as I mentioned, we were over budget there. Gas, we were a little bit over budget, but that's because we did drive. So the total envelope was $864.14. And then we get into our sinking funds. Midway through the month, we decided to switch up some of these categories, but I still had to leave it in here because in our paycheck budgets, we did put funds for Father's Day, gifts, Mother's Day, and all of that. So I did leave it the way it is. So car maintenance, we applied a little bit less. Christmas is the only savings category that we broke even, that we actually met the goal that we wanted to save for the month. And that's because we do have a worksheet where we're breaking down each paycheck how much we want to apply for Christmas. So we knew for the month of September, for each month, we do want to have $100 set aside for Christmas. And then we get into the other sinking funds. Vacation and anniversary, this we had at this time had it only in a savings account online, and we just combined the two. So for this month, we added an extra $200 for our anniversary trip for savings. But then we went ahead and we took that out and we included it as part of the income. So it kind of like washed out because we ended up spending. So that's how I did it. I don't know if that's truly the right way that I should have done it. Again, I'm getting used to this whole system of budgeting. I normally did everything on every dollar. And that's how I was used to just applying all of and tracking my spending. But visually, it was difficult to really see where my spending went. So now we move down to this savings category. And this is an online savings account that I did have. The goal was to have $394 put in the home savings. We only put $287. So if I were to look at this as a whole of where my spending went, it can be a little bit challenging, right? Seeing it in this view. However, I was tracking my spending here, and here's the little month-end worksheet overview. I wrote in all of the income that was received during the month, what was available in the bank account, plus what I received during the month. It gave me a specific total. So this worksheet is different than that first worksheet that you saw for the monthly budget, because that doesn't include the available and starting balance. So that's just something to keep in mind. It could be a little bit confusing this way. But I have all of that highlighting categories of me tracking my spending. Now, I realized that I neglected to track the spending that my husband did. So we are off here by 193, taking this income and subtracting this total and of what my October starting balance for my cash envelopes and the bank account was. I'm not breaking even. I'm not really close, and I think I know it's because I did not take into account the money that my husband spends for what we agree on, putting in his bank account and all of those things. So we have to come up with a system, and I have to figure out what can work for us. So yeah, but let me go through some of these categories, because you see a lot of red going on, right? You see that we went over budget on a lot of these categories. But again, it is because we went on vacation. So I think for October, I will have a better grasp on how this works. But as I mentioned, with an increase in income comes an increase in spending. That's usually what goes down. However, the goal is to have your spending be less. Even though your income goes up, it doesn't necessarily mean that your spending should go up. But in reality, it tends to happen. You just don't want it to go up too much. So as you see here, I combined from the monthly worksheet budget. I added in how much the food, the grocery budget was, which is $300 a month that we budget for, and then how much our eating out budget was. So that was $30. So I just totaled all of that together, giving us $330 for the monthly budget, and how much we spent was $445.40 on food. That is groceries, and that is eating out. So we were over by $115. That does not reflect my goal. But again, we traveled this month so I could see how that played out. Okay, this is reality. This is a visual, and I'm so glad that I did it. But again, I think that October is going to be a whole different ball game. Now we get into the spending section. So spending, this was in my cash envelope section of my monthly budget. We ended up spending $957. You guys might be thinking, holy cow, you guys went way over budget, like extreme. But again, we bought tickets to a cabin that we stayed at, and that was money that was from our savings. We spent a lot on, different gifts and going out when we were in Georgia. So that's where that money came from. But again, the income reflects that. So we weren't like negative. It was just we overspent what we planned on spending. Does that make sense? Okay, let's move on. Next section is the tithe, and that's where I mentioned it before, 10% of what we actually earn for the month. So the budgeted amount was $427. We ended up tithing $543. So that's a good thing. That's good then to be in the red because it reflects the income. The insurance was a little bit less than what we anticipated. This miscellaneous charge, this includes that gym charge. I accounted it for miscellaneous on my expense tracker, not a part of this bills. So the gym membership, monthly membership, I did include it as part of the bills for the highlight, but in the expense tracker, that $50 overage that I was not anticipating, that was a miscellaneous, like I didn't know what to do with it. So I accounted it for the miscellaneous part of this part of the budget. So this home section, this is including the rent and anything that we buy for the house. So home supplies, home goods, all of that. So we did pretty good. We were over by $11. So the point is to really be under, but I am not complaining over $11. Then our bills went up by $94.04, and our actual bill total was $522.39 when we budgeted out $428. So $94, yep, that's kind of a blow. But luckily we made more than what we planned on, so just keep that in mind. Gas, we went over by $10.72. Again, we traveled, so that makes sense that we spent more on gas. I skipped one. Pets, we spent $66 instead of $70, so that's a savings. SunPass, we saved a little bit too, and then our savings, we did not put more to savings like we wanted to, so that's just something that we have to really work on. I mean, $68 is a little less, but the goal is to really work on our savings goals. So then our rollover into October, the starting balance, so what is included in our cash envelopes to start with and our available balance in our checking account is $2,707.48. So that's why we are off by that $193. And I tried to figure it out. Still working on it. It is a work in progress, guys. But we have October set up for success. Let me show you the tracker. So we have our cash set up, expense tracker, and then we have our checking account set up for that. So I think we're doing okay. Hopefully October is going to be a better month, but guys, it's a new system and I'm still adjusting accordingly. So we'll try to get this down, guys. We'll try to get this down. But if you did enjoy today's video, if you have any tips for me on how I can make this system better, definitely let me know in the comments section down below. I would really love all of your help. So if you did enjoy it, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in a brand new video. Bye, guys.